Better without the microphone?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to do a different kind of prayer. Who's up for some audience participation?
Yeah. Always.
Who is not? Okay, that's what I thought. I want you to stand up and pair up with somebody that you do not know. And then just stand by. All right. Hello, pass the shush, please. Now that you've met this lovely human being, just hang out with them for a minute. I'll tell you what to do in a second. I'm going to start with a short story. Trigger warning. This story talks about God. God can be many things to many people. God can be your subconscious mind. God can be universal consciousness. God can be the universe itself. It doesn't matter. Insert your version of God into the story. Long ago in India, there was a wise yogi who dedicated himself to a life of service. He traveled the countryside, freely sharing his knowledge with any and all who would listen. His only means of subsistence, his begging bowl, which he placed on the ground before him at the beginning of every discourse. Grateful villagers would fill that bowl with portions of dal, rice, curd, the occasional sweet, and gratitude. He only ever got enough food to survive, but that's all he wanted. He sustained himself. He was happy with his life. And then came the time of the famine. And as food became shorter and shorter in supply, the portions in the yogi's bowl became smaller and smaller, and some days it was empty. He lost weight, but he never lost hope. His life force began to wane. And one day, when he hadn't eaten for nearly 48 hours, a wealthy villager gifted him a chapati and a fat pat of butter. Elated, the yogi sat down under the shade of a tree, pulled a cloth from his knapsack, laid it on the ground, put the chapati down, and a hungry dog came from nowhere, snatched the chapati up, and ran away. Without hesitating, the yogi grabbed the pat of butter, stood up and ran after the dog, yelling, "God! Wait, God, you forgot your butter!" Hearing this, the dog turned around, transformed into God, and bestowed a blessing upon the yogi for seeing the divine in each and every being. Seeing the divine in each and every being is a lofty goal, is something to aspire to, but as humans, it's quite difficult. Because at times we meet people that we just don't like. We don't get along with. They don't jive with us. Why is that, and what can we do about it? Ram Dass said, when you know how to listen, everyone is the guru. The person that you do not like might remind you of someone from your past. They might be shining a light on some unfinished business, a time when you felt unsafe or unloved, giving you opportunity to pursue personal or spiritual development. That person might be acting in a way or saying something that you do yourself, that you're unaware of. It's like that same voice that tells you things in the psychedelic experience out of nowhere, shining a light saying, "Hey, here's that thing you do that you don't like about yourself." You might want to do something about that and not beat yourself up about it so much. It might be something else too. I'd like you to turn on and face the person that you partnered with. Now we're going to look into each other's eyes. If that's okay, just give your partner a little nod. If it's not okay, you can look somewhere else. I would like you to look into this person's left eye. Look into the pupil. If you look deeply enough, you can see a reflection of yourself in this person's eye. I don't know who you paired with, and I don't have to, because there are no new stories. The characters might be different, the beginnings and endings change a little bit, and there are a million possible plot twists in the middle, but everyone's having a human experience. The person you're looking at has had their heart broken. They know what it's like to feel like they love another person more than that person loves them. It might be a crush, it might be a lover, it might be a spouse, it might be a parent, but they have had their heart broken, just like you have. The person in front of you knows what it's like to feel alone and isolated, to feel that there's no one they can turn to with their problems. The person in front of you has probably lost someone who meant a lot to them, maybe even this year. You're both having a human experience. Looking into someone's eyes is an intense experience. Right now, if you want to, without words or without moving, you can let this person know that you see them, and that it's okay for them to see you. You can let them know that you care about them and what they've gone through, the trials, tribulations, bumps, bruises, scuffs, and scrapes, the human experience that you both share. If you want to, you can let them know that you love them as a human being and you care about their struggle. That intensity that you feel when you look into someone's eye, that spark of consciousness that we all share, to me, that's God. Now, sometimes if you meet someone that you don't like, it's quite possible that person might not be very likable. They might be socially inappropriate, they might say things that you don't like, they might be racist, misogynist, sexist. They're just not your kind of person. But I know that if you stop for a second, you can at least see the God in this person. You can bestow upon yourself the blessing of allowing yourself to see the divine in each and every being. Ram Dass also said, treat everyone you meet as if they're God in drag. I think that's very good advice. As a coach, I found that I have mirrors. When I find myself telling someone over and over the same thing, it's usually because I need to hear it myself. So my prayer, my wish for this new year, is that I listen to this advice, that I allow myself to see the divine in every being. If you ask 5 different people what namaste means, you'll get a lot of different definitions. One is the divinity in me recognizes the divinity in you. So if you would like to, you can bring your hands to heart center right now. And by saying namaste, let your partner know that the divinity in you recognizes the divinity in them. And if you feel so, you can turn around and tell as many neighbors as you can that the divinity in you recognizes the divinity in them. So now I'd like to say, let's celebrate and namaste.
Namaste.